Hey guys, this is Timo. Welcome back to another video. This time I want to do a commentary on my 1cc in novice mode of DoDonPachi Resurrection. If you are following me on Twitter, you might have seen that I cleared the game just yesterday for the first time. And yeah, well, I thought, why not take the opportunity to share my thoughts on the game and have a look on my gameplay, which is not perfect. I can spoiler that. I made some really questionable decisions and was quite inattentive from time to time. But we will see this in just a bit. So let me use the first stage for sharing my thoughts and my way into the game, I guess. So I started playing the game in February 2023. I was drawn into the game as I was binge watching a lot of YouTube videos, and a lot of content creators were just gushing about DoDonPachi, the series in general. And for the NintendoSwitch, DoDonPachi Resurrection was available, and I think it was also on sale, so I just grabbed it and I tried to play it. It was actually one of the first shmups I ever bought after getting more into the genre and building up more interest for the whole genre. So what instantly hooked me was the graphical style and the presentation of the game. I really like the ships, I like the enemy design, the bullet patterns are cool, you can see basically everything. So there are some games where I have some problems to see the bullets, so to say, because they blend in with the background pretty much, but I don't have any problems with DoDonPachi Resurrection, at least so far. I had no problems. I also really like the music of the game, but the main thing for me is probably the graphics, the graphical style, and how things explode. It's just, I think it makes you feel very powerful, and everything looks nice. And yeah, well, don't know what to say. It's just a very good looking game, and it's one of my go-to references when I try to compare games with one another. So when I started out with the game, I just did runs. I didn't touch the practice mode, something I really learned to appreciate later, because it's a very solid training mode. And I think every game should have something like this. Oh, I don't really like these guys because they're shooting a lot of bullets. It can be quite nasty, but I think you can manipulate their shots a little bit. So I'm on the left side and I'm trying to move over to the right side, or vice versa, like you saw here. Yeah, so I did runs over and over. Tried to learn the game by just doing runs. I used my hyper here because I was a little bit afraid of the bullets, and I didn't use the hyper before, I guess. I didn't use it in stage 1. So in the beginning, I think for a newcomer, everything is kind of scary, and I was handling it by just doing runs over and over. And one of the things are those lasers you see, and I didn't know what to do because the game doesn't tell you. You just need to use your own laser to counter it, like in Dragon Ball Z when they are firing their Kamehamehas or other key, attacks. So you need to counter it by that. It's something I didn't know, and I did some mistakes there. As you saw, I had to use 2 bombs, or 2 auto bombs in this case. But before a boss, you get this this bomb stock which refills your bombs completely, but only in novice mode if I got this right. So in the higher difficulties you have to play really perfect. It's quite forgiving in this mode. So I use my hyper here to cancel out the bullets and to keep my bombs. Yeah, I use the bomb there to make sure I don't get hit. And that's basically the second stage boss. I did some mistakes I really didn't have to do, but well, it's okay. It was not enough to cancel the run or to start over, because I knew I get two more bombs. So after I got used to the game, I used the training mode a little bit more and practiced mid and stage bosses because I thought they were the biggest problem. And later I practiced the stages a little bit more. Yeah, I really like this stage. The background is so cool. You have this, I don't know, it reminds me somehow of Tokyo. I don't know why, but when I was there, I thought there are so many lights, and yeah, it somehow reminds me of Tokyo. I don't know why. I got hit there, lost a bomb or 2 bombs? No, 1 bomb, right? And there you have these lasers again. And if you don't know, if you're new to the game, you don't know that you have to use the lasers to get through the laser barrier, so to say. It can be quite annoying, but I think I found out about this by accident how to deal with these lasers. I also think that the stage 3 is a major difficulty spike. You can get an extend here, but I think it's the first time that there are a lot of bullets like here, or more bullets on the screen than the other stages. So as for my progression in the game, I played the game like for 2 weeks straight, more or less. And then I realized that I need to practice even more. So I had to practice the stages more, I had to practice the bosses more, and also get more used to the mechanics, like this hyper cancellation, when do I want to use it and when not. And I'm still not 100% sure how it works, because I read online something about a hyper meter. So if you activate the hyper, the bullets feels like there are more bullets on screen and they're way faster. But I don't know. I read something about a hyper meter. So if I understand it correctly, the more you use the hyper, the harder the game gets. But I'm not sure. So this is where you get the extend. You just have to blast away this tower or enemy by using your lasers or your normal shot. And I had to use some bombs, or I was just hit, and the auto bombs helped me out, so the mode is quite forgiving on that. Yeah, well, I realized I had to practice even more, and I wanted to see something else, so I moved to different games, like Softstar. The next game I played for a longer time was Softstar, and I always had the game in mind because I like the graphic style so much, because I already put some time into it, and I somehow got drawn back, and I wanted to clear it. So I used my hyper there again, because there were a lot of bullets and I just wanted to cancel them out. Still on max bomb stock, and I have 3 lives left, which is quite good. In the beginning I struggled to keep all the lives because I was hit so often. So we have a dense bullet pattern, and I think it was a little bit of luck. I could have gotten hit there, but the boss died in the right at the right time. So yeah, I moved to Soft Star, but I had the game in mind all the time, and I wanted to clear it. And then I moved to Raging Blasters, but I never forget about the game. But I knew that in my mind it was so hard to clear it. I saw the game on the beginner tier list of Octane, and I thought by myself, why do people think this game is easy for a beginner? I don't think it's that easy for a beginner. Now I know it's quite forgiving, but you really need to learn how to manage your resources. You really need to learn that, yeah, bombs are a resource that you can and you should use because it helps to, well, just protect your life, right? It's it's a lifesaver. So there's definitely a lot to learn about the game, and it's also kind of scary because there are some mechanics and all these bullets and the lasers no one talks about, and so on and so on. So even though it is a novice mode, I think it's hard for a beginner to get into the game. That being said, I think the game does a lot right. This visual presentation is very, very cool. I think it's something that draws you back in, as well as the music and the sound of the explosion, everything surrounding the game. It's really, really, really cool. You can definitely see that this is a cave game. A lot of people talk the same about Mushihime-sama, which is also a cave game, and something I think I will do next. But yeah, so when I got here, I think I had a feeling, or maybe it was in stage 3 already. I had a feeling that this run was kind of good so far, that I could potentially make it to the last boss, because I practiced the stage 5, and in stage 5 there is something you will see in just a second, or in a minute. I used the bomb here, and I think I used the bomb earlier because I knew I will get the restock in just a few seconds, and I didn't want to die. I just didn't want to lose a life, and the regular bomb, if you bomb yourself, the bomb is stronger and lasts longer. I think this mechanic is really great for a new player because it teaches you that you need to use the bombs proactively and not only rely on the auto bomb, because the regular bomb is so much stronger. It is a really good way to teach players to use bombs. Like there, I could have bombed it, but I didn't because I miscalculated. This was very close. I don't even know how I could make it through this. So this is a pretty stupid thing. I activated the hyper to cancel out the bullets, but got hit, and so the hyper mode was cancelled. I had to bomb there again, and I was hit there, I guess. So you can see that this is not a perfect run, but I think it's good to learn that you don't need to be perfect, or you don't need to play perfect to achieve a 1cc, at least in novice mode. Of course, in higher difficulties you need to be more precise, but oh yeah, I died there. So I have full bombs and 2 lives. and after finishing the boss with 2 lives and full bombs, I thought to myself, yeah, well, it's really going good for me if I just can handle my nerves in the last stage and get the tricky parts down halfway decent. I might be able to 1cc the game, because the stage 5 is a make or break stage. So you have these lasers. So you need to laser yourself to get through it. This is a sticky situation. I don't know how and why I moved over there. Maybe I was not able to. Well, I was not able to finish off the enemies quick enough, so I moved over there. But well, I got trapped, or I trapped myself. So in training, I usually like to hyper this mid boss to cancel out all the bullets, but you can see the normal bomb did it quite well, but there I was hit and the auto bomb just triggered. So 2 lives and 2 bombs. And I'm not even at the really tricky part. I think it's a part where most of the new players die. So I hypered there because there were a lot of this smaller enemies. They are easy to kill, but they shoot a lot of bullets. So maybe it was a panic cancel. Maybe I didn't practice this part enough. There might be better strategies to handle those enemies. And now we're getting close to the major part. This pinwheels. So you have to go in between the lines. And in the beginning, I didn't realize what I had to do. I just thought I need to avoid them somehow, but I was not able to. Here I'm a little bit off, so the timing was not correct, so I had to bomb to get through. Because of the slowdown, you have some adjustment time to go through. I don't like these enemies because they are shooting these blue bullets relatively fast. Here, I thought you need to go through there first, but I found a video where the guy was showing how to route this, and without that I would have never been able to clear this. So I died there, I used it auto bomb, I got hit, and then I died there, but I'm still 1 life and 6 bombs, 5 bombs, because I got hit again, and that is what I meant, right? The game is quite forgiving, or the game is it's giving new players opportunities to finish on a 1cc in novice mode. So here's the next pinwheel, and you need to go through at the bottom, but I couldn't get in there. My timing was off again, so I just bombed. Or did it auto bomb? I don't know. And now I can go through this pinwheel. Go through there. Okay. I don't know what I did there, to be honest. I don't know why I used the bomb. So let's say it was a celebration bomb because I made it through the whole pinwheel thing. Because this is really the backbreaker. It was, for the most part, for me. I didn't know how to handle this. I didn't know what to do, so I was quite happy to finally get through this, only using 2 or 3 bombs, well, and dying ones, but I have enough resources at this point, so I think I got pretty hyped and was already celebrating a little bit early. I get the maximum bomb stock here. So I was celebrating a little bit early, and maybe I mixed up my my buttons. I maybe wanted to hyper, but used the bomb instead. Well, anyway, it got me through this, so I'm quite happy. So this is the last bit of the game. You might have seen the bees. In novice mode, the bees are, well, you don't need to make them visible. They are visible all the time. But in the higher difficulties, you have to laser them. So you need to use this kind of laser to make them visible. So it's a good mode to learn where to look for the bees. I think the green bees increase your hypermeter, while the orange bees increase your score, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't know every mechanic, and the game does quite a bad job to explain what you have to do, or how the mechanics work, I think. But you can read it online at the Shmup wiki. So, as you saw, some more mistakes. I lost some bombs, but we're at the final bit of the stage. So I will get the bomb restock, and I have enough resources. I have 1 life. I will probably go in there with 1 life and a full bomb stock. Maybe I'm bombing, yeah. So I'm grabbing it here and make my way through to the final boss. Not the true last boss, it's not in the novice mode, I think. But yeah, feeling very good, and, well, got hit. We're up to a good start, but as you can see, I have the hyper, I have 5 bombs, and I have a life. I could basically bomb through the whole fight at this point. I really don't like this attack. Normally I hyper it, or try to hyper. In this case I have enough bombs, so I'm just saying, okay, you know what, I don't want to deal with it. I will just bomb and use the normal bomb, because, as I said earlier, it's way stronger, it lasts longer, and it cancels out the bullets. And again. And again. And again. So I think I will get hit in a second. Yes, so that's the last life, but I have 6 bombs. The boss is nearly toast. So I hypered and tried to get through this, and there we have it. I think I jumped a little bit yesterday after I beat the last boss, because just a few weeks before this, or before yesterday, I could barely make it to area 5 or stage 5, and the pinwheels would just kill me, and I didn't know what to do and how to go through this. So after practicing that, I didn't even practice the other bosses or anything. I just jumped in. I did like 2 runs, and after my short vacation I came back and said, okay, I will just try it and see how far I can go. And I was pretty surprised that I could just make it. So, some finishing thoughts. I think the game is great. It looks great, it plays great, the explosions are great, the graphical style is great if you're into this spaceship kind of thing. Yeah, I really enjoyed my time with the game, but I think it's not an easy game to get into initially. Even though there's a novice mode and the game is forgiving, you really need to get a grasp of what's going on, what are the mechanics, get used to using bombs and not relying on auto bombs and so on and so on. So there's a lot going on. In terms of mechanics, there are, in my opinion, there are easier games to get into. So I really enjoyed my time with DoDonPachi Resurrection, and I would like to know from you guys, what were your experiences with the game? Please share your thoughts on the game, on the gameplay, or on the difficulty, the training mode, whatever is in your mind, down in the comments. Thank you very much for listening to my commentary, watching the video. Really appreciate it. If you liked what you saw, please consider giving this video a thumbs up. I'm wishing you all a great day. Hope to see you in the next video. And, well, keep on gaming and chasing those high scores. Bye.